Daniel Rourke vanished on a Thursday afternoon, sometime between 3:40 and 4:15, from a quiet residential street in Woodlawn Heights. No one noticed him step outside. No one heard a car, a scuffle, or even the faintest footsteps on pavement. It felt as if the world blinked for a single second, and Daniel simply slipped out of existence. Detective Mara Hensley arrived before sunset, calm, methodical, and known for reading a room before ever addressing a single person inside it. She stepped into Daniel's home and immediately sensed something wrong. The house was clean, too clean. It was the kind of clean that suggested not tidiness, but erasure. She moved with deliberate silence, letting details guide her. She had learned long ago that the truth never shouted. It whispered. On the kitchen table sat a cup of coffee, still warm, with only one sip missing. The front door remained unlocked. Daniel's phone rested on the counter, still plugged into its charger, untouched since morning. The absence of the phone disturbed her most. People who vanish rarely leave their lifelines behind. The scene did not feel like a kidnapping. It felt like someone had taken him before he had the chance to understand anything was wrong. Neighbors described Daniel as quiet, polite, almost painfully ordinary. No enemies, no suspicious visitors, no late-night arguments. His life ran on a predictable loop. Wake up, jog, work, eat, sleep, repeat. People like him did not attract chaos. They attracted silence. And silence, Mara knew, often concealed the heaviest secrets. In a hallway drawer, she found a stack of unopened envelopes addressed to a name that did not belong to the homeowner, Elias Crane. Return addresses came from different states. None repeated every letter sent within the past year, and not a single one opened. The handwriting was calm and controlled. Someone had left a quiet trail meant to be followed. Daniel, however, had never taken the bait. The deeper she moved, the stranger the house became. In the closet behind neatly pressed shirts, she found a locked metal box. The lock was simple, almost intentionally so. Inside was an old photograph of a boy standing beside a gravestone, a pocket watch frozen at 4:11, a newspaper from 13 years earlier reporting the death of a man named Victor Crane, and a small unlabeled brass key. Each item alone said nothing, but placed together they felt like pieces of a map, a narrative, or perhaps a warning. When she stepped outside, the sky had turned orange and the air had grown unexpectedly cold. Daniel's financial records revealed something impossible. His entire banking history had not been emptied or closed. It had been erased. His Social Security number matched no national registry despite his 5 years in the neighborhood. His employment records pointed to a company that had ceased to exist 2 decades earlier. Even his driver's license contained no issuing state in its microprint. Daniel Rourke was a ghost wearing the shell of a real life. Yet he had a house. He had neighbors who swore they spoke to him weekly. He owned groceries, furniture, personal belongings. Mara felt a familiar weight in her chest, not fear but recognition. 15 years earlier, she had glimpsed a case with the same fingerprints, a quiet man, a perfect home, letters addressed to a different name, and a disappearance that seemed designed rather than accidental. She had been forbidden from pursuing it. A message appeared on her phone from an unknown number before she could even process the connection. The message warned her to stop searching, insisted Daniel was never meant to stay, and ended with a threat she felt deep in her bones. Before she could preserve the evidence, the message erased itself. For the first time in years, she felt the sharp, cold edge of dread. That night, she remained 2 blocks from Daniel's home, unable to leave the growing pattern behind. Disappearances like his did not occur without intention. They obeyed structure and hidden logic beneath layers of misdirection. By sunrise, she had mapped every clue. The letters, the key, the photograph, the financial wipe, the self-deleting message. One detail kept resurfacing. Elias Crane, the same last name from the old newspaper tucked inside the metal box. Her research uncovered a history of vanished men in the Crane family. Victor Crane had supposedly died in a cabin fire that left no burn marks, no ash, and no body. The case had been closed without question. His son, Elias Crane, disappeared 6 months later. His file was sealed without explanation. Sealed files, Mara knew, always meant power. Someone wanted the truth buried. She returned to Daniel's home with a warrant and a locksmith. Every door, every shelf, every wall cavity revealed nothing new until she entered the attic. In the center stood a large corkboard covered with pinned documents, maps, faded photographs, and lines of tightly drawn red string. It was not chaotic paranoia, but a carefully crafted investigation. Daniel had been studying something, or someone. At the top of the board, circled in red, were 2 words: the network. Below them lay dozens of names, most crossed out, people who had vanished across decades. A blurry grayscale photograph labeled Recruiter, a timeline of coded dates. At the bottom of the board, her own name appeared with a date marked beside it. The next day. Daniel hadn't only known she would come. He had predicted her. Her calls to the precinct dropped one after another. Service bars flickered and died. The world around her tightened. Then a soft tapping sounded on her car window. A young boy, expression hollow, handed her a sealed envelope and walked away without a word. Inside the envelope was a message warning her to stop before she joined Daniel. Official channels were no longer an option. Whatever the network was, it could erase identities, silence communication, and plant her name into a stranger's investigation long before she arrived. She went off-grid, spending the night in a cheap motel, studying every note Daniel had left behind. Patterns emerged through layers of coded markings. The network did not kill. It relocated. It reassigned. It rebuilt. Its chosen targets always shared one trait: a fragile or incomplete identity, a person whose past held gaps wide enough to disappear through without making noise. Victor Crane, Elias Crane, Daniel Rourke, people who never fully existed on paper. A faint marking on the brass key finally revealed its purpose: Storage 47B, Brighton Docks. She drove there under cover of fog. The storage unit held a single crate filled with hundreds of identical envelopes addressed to different names. At the top rested one addressed to her. Inside was a message explaining that her real life was ending soon, and that she needed to prepare to become someone else. The handwriting matched the letters to Daniel. Calm, controlled, precise. She returned to the precinct and broke into the sealed Crane file. Inside were only 3 documents: a death certificate without an examiner's signature, a redacted police report on the false fire, and a psychological profile declaring Victor Crane ideal for identity reconstruction and ready for something called Phase 2. At the bottom, a note assigned a recruitment to subject Elias C. Elias had not disappeared. He had been remade. Daniel Rourke was likely one of his later identities. Her phone suddenly lit up with a new message despite having no service. It warned her to stop reading. The screen went black. Someone else was in the building. The lights died. Footsteps approached, slow and confident. A tall man emerged from the shadows of emergency lighting. Older, but unmistakable. Elias Crane. No weapon, no rush, only an unsettling calm. He spoke with the certainty of someone who had watched her far longer than she had known of him. He explained that she was never meant to ignore the letters, yet she had defied expectation and pursued the truth with unusual precision. She had solved the pattern faster than any recruit they had tested. Her name had appeared on the board because she had earned it. He approached her with the quiet assurance of a man granting a revelation rather than issuing a threat. He told her she felt it her entire life, that thin disconnect between who she was and who she believed she should be, that inexplicable sense of not fully belonging anywhere. According to him, her past was thinner than memory and her future thicker than sight. She did not break. She adapted, and that made her valuable. A mechanical lock sealed the only exit. A faint hum filled the room. Mara lunged to stop him, but a white flash burst across her vision. A soundless pulse collapsed her thoughts. Elias caught her before she hit the floor. His final words dissolved into darkness as her consciousness faded. She woke hours later in an unfamiliar apartment overlooking a city she did not recognize. Her clothes were neatly folded. A passport lay on the nightstand displaying her face, but a different name. Nora Keene. Her badge was gone. Her old life erased. A letter welcomed her to a new identity and reminded her that she was never Detective Mara Hensley. That identity had already ceased to exist. Memories of her old life slipped away like water through open hands. In the reflection of the window, she noticed a figure on the street watching her. The man's posture, his quiet acknowledgement, carried both warning and invitation. Whether he was Daniel or Elias or someone in between no longer mattered. He nodded once, not in threat, but in welcome. And to her own surprise, Nora felt a slow and settling calm, a sense that she had not been taken but redirected, as if she had arrived at the place she belonged all along, and the woman she used to be had never truly existed.